Yes, yes.
Well, very quickly, I think we probably all believe in support the notion of smaller government and more freedom. But now, at the federal level, I know you have to be very careful in what you say, and I don't know whether there are media here or not, or outside. But while the federal government supports, and you speak out in favor of smaller government and lower taxation, the federal government seems to be, understandably, very reluctant to come out and make any strong statements along these lines in probably the two greatest areas of public expenditure, health and education. So what can you say about how the governments can stop supporting monopolies in these two areas of health and education?
Yeah, that's a good question, because health and education, these are under provincial jurisdiction. And answering your question, I said at the Albany Club, I think 2 or 3 years ago, that we must respect the Constitution. And if we are doing that, health spending that we're doing, the transfer that we're giving to provinces. So what we're doing, we're taxing Canadian, and we're transferring that money to provinces for health care and education. That's not in our jurisdiction. So what we decided to do, we're going to respect the Constitution, continue the transfer, but without any condition. In the past, former government, they were asking for condition in health care before transferring the money. So we think that they are responsible, they know how to manage an hospital, they are the people they must know how to manage an hospital, they are the competent people. So that's what we did. But personally, what I said, why taxing Canadian for something that is not under our jurisdiction? So I think if you go on that line, you must just stop the transfer and transfer not the money, but the income points. They're going to be able to tax people. I'm a politician. I don't like to tax people, and I think that if the provincial government, the Quebec provincial government, or the Ontario provincial government, they need money for health care and education, we must lower our tax at the federal level. That will give them room to tax people for that. And at the end, they will be responsible. People will know that if the healthcare system is not functioning well, that will be 100% of the fault of the provincial government. And that will be in line with the Constitution. So my personal position is lower the tax to the Canadians, and transfer that to the provinces. And if they have to tax, they will tax. But also, if they want to manage a system like in Quebec, we have a little bit more private sector delivery of healthcare services in Quebec. This is a competition that there's having before between the provincial, between the healthcare delivery by the government and the private sector. But that's a decision that must be taken by a provincial politician. So I agree with you. We need competition. We need competition in healthcare. Competition is always good. That brings costs down. But we cannot do that at the federal level. That's a responsibility of my colleague at the provincial level. So answering your question, as a member of government, we will continue to transfer the money. As a conservative who believes in more freedom and respect the letter of the Constitution, I think that we must lower our tax at the federal level, and the provinces will be able to tax if they want to tax for healthcare and education. That's under their own jurisdiction. Thank you. And you can read my speech on my blog, maximbernier.com. It's Albany speech. It's all about that.
Yes.
Thank you, Minister. I appreciated your comments as well on smaller government not being involved in industry. I don't know if you can answer this one on behalf of the government, but perhaps your own personal views. What about when it's foreign governments through their state-owned enterprises looking at owning Canadian resources?
Now, we have a good legislation at the federal level. It's called the Investment Act, Foreign Investment Act, and there's a test of the net benefits when you have a foreign investment here in Canada. And I don't want to discuss a precise case. As you know, the government will take position before the end of this year about a precise case that we're speaking about. But personally, I think that investment, it's the engine of our economy. So if it's a foreign investment or Canadian investment or US investment, we are in a capitalist society, so we must welcome investment. That's what we're doing. But when it's owned by a communist state-owned enterprise, I think we have the tool, the legislation, to look at it if it's in the net benefits of our country. And we have to do that case by case, and we are doing that. Yes?
Just a question. You talk about smaller government and individual freedom of choice and having more money in your pocket. I suspect that would extend to being able to buy, for example, cheese that doesn't have a 300-400% tariff on it. To what extent are you supporting the idea of dismantling the marketing boards?
Yeah, marketing boards, you're right. That as a conservative, we said, and I said personally also during my campaign in Quebec, that we won't touch that. We will sign free trade agreement with other countries without having an impact on the marketing board. And as a politician, I want us to respect that. But it's a huge challenge for everybody because there's quota, there's tariff in that. And if you want to have a real free trade in agriculture, specifically in dairy, maybe, or in poultry, you must people, they pay their quota to be able to produce milk and things like that. So if you want to do that at the federal level, you're going to need to have an agreement with the provincial government because it's a shared jurisdiction with the provincial government and us, the federal government. So you must have a discussion with the provincial counterpart and maybe giving some subsidies to the agriculture sector to let them compete completely free without quotas on tariff. And I don't see that in the near future. So our position as government is we have this marketing board across the country, and they're there, so we will do a free trade agreement. And each time you're doing a free trade agreement, you negotiate everything. But at the end, it depends what is more advantageous for different countries. But when you sign a free trade agreement, you want to be sure, and for us, you're always sure that it will be in the benefits of our Canadians. But it won't, as a politician, I think if you need to get rid of all that, you need to have a debate, a national debate on that. It must be part of a political party that's going to have that on their platform and have a debate during a campaign. You cannot do that without speaking to Canadians in a campaign. You need to have a strong mandate to do it because the lobby, the agricultural lobby is very powerful. So you need to have a mandate to change that. And we don't have the mandate. We didn't ask for that mandate. And so we will go and try to sign free trade agreement preserving the marketing boards that exist in Canada.
But that is historically the position of the Conservative government. Would historically be the marketing boards, especially in the dairy and poultry, whatever, that correct the prices of consumers. That is really part of what a Conservative government would be essentially standing for, would it not?
Yeah, but we don't have that in the platform. When I ran as my party, it was not part of the platform. We didn't say to Quebecers or to Canadians, we will get rid of all that. And we can have a debate. And you know, I think we will have that debate. As you know, as a member of the Conservative Party, we have our convention next June in Calgary. Is it Calgary? In Calgary. And there's a lot of proposal from riding association. And I know that there's a proposal from some riding association to have the debate and put that in our platform. So yes, as a conservative, it must be something that we must discuss. And the right platform will be our convention in a couple of months from now. Yeah, we must do it.
Mr. MacDonald, sorry, would have to be the last question because...
Just a simple question, more on the dynamics
But you must ask, I will reverse the question. Why we are so popular in Quebec in some ridings that are near Quebec City? So my riding is both, about an hour south of Quebec City. And 4 of our ridings are near the Quebec City region. So why we're so popular in Quebec City region, and we're not popular in Montreal? Montreal, it is half of the province. We're not popular in Montreal in the other regions. And I think my answer is, we have a good message, and we have also good media, good radio station in Quebec, good newspaper, that they transmit our message to Quebecers. But in Montreal, with the National Francophone Press, we don't have that. They are more socialists, and our message is very difficult to go through people over there. But I can tell you that I have a lot of invitation to the interview in Quebec City, and it's going very well over there because they're keen to transmit our message. But when I'm doing interview in Montreal, they are, first of all, you must fight for being invited in a radio show. They're having always socialist people or things like that, so they don't think of it. And you have to push to be invited. And when you're invited, you don't speak for a long time. And that's, I think, the media. You know, the media are very powerful. But also, we have to be more present. And I did last summer, I was in Quebec, in our region of Quebec. I did a tour for maybe 2 weeks and in different regions of Quebec and speak to the local newspaper and to local journalists, and that went very well. So we have to be more present there. I think our message is a good message. I don't think that Quebecers are socialists. Maybe they're politicians at the provincial level. They're more socialist than myself, for sure. But I think that there's people who believe in freedom, and you must speak about that more often, and that's our challenge. But we have 3 years to do that. The next election will be only October the 19th, 2015. So, and I can promise you that I'm more often in my own province, and my goal is to have more than 5 MPs from Quebec. Commitment. So have a nice evening. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And if you need something, don't hesitate. I have a blog, maximebernier.com. You can send me email there. I'm reading everything. And about the healthcare and education, I delivered a speech specifically on that. It's called the Albany Club speech 2 years ago. You'll be able to find it. So merci beaucoup. Bye-bye.